Welcome to the Healthy Wealthy Camper Show, Storyvan TV. We have a very special guest today. My name is Bonnie McDonald Dixon, and we have Andrea Blackwood-Harriott. And I've got to tell you, we met a short time ago, but I fell in love with her. Isn't that fun? I've fallen in love with someone, and she lives in Jamaica. Isn't that fun? So, Andrea is a wellness transformation, and get this, Maven. Is that not cool? And she helps entrepreneurs and executives get off that weight loss roller coaster. And when I read that, all I could think of was that movie Parenthood, where, they were on the roller coaster, and I was like, "Whoa!" And a lot of us do that, myself included. Over my 66 years plus, I have done that. But what we're going to hear today is Andrea is going to share with us some very special information that you will not want to miss. And with that, Andrea, thank you for coming on today and sharing your wisdom.
Bonnie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. My life and many, in fact, 60%. Can you imagine a woman? 60% perhaps share that story of being overweight and trying conventional things and falling down and trying again and falling down and ending up on some kind of roller coaster. And that is so sad because every time it happens, somehow we end up more damaged, either physically or mentally or both, because we personalize it. It's something that we did. We're bad. Not just that, things happen, but women, we really personalize that. And that was my story for a long time, having been fat since I was 11 years old, and having tried so many things, and having watched myself and my clients get back fat a year later, and taking it so personally. Oh my God, what did I do? And so for a long time, I felt it a personal failure. And when you fail, you want to hide, you want to run away. Your eyes don't shine as bright. The dip gets out of your step. And even if momentarily you forget this, because you have to, like me, I was a corporate executive, I was a strategist and a marketing professional.
Mhm.
And when I'm in front of the crowd, I'm okay. But one sly look, and I said, oh, were they watching my bum? Was my skirt too tight? Did they see me hop or couldn't sit down properly because my knees hurt so badly? So fat hurts. And it's not about like fat shaming, or name calling. The fact is that fat is not just an inert thing that sits on your body. It really gets you at the bone, and it can kill. It can kill, and it almost killed me.
Wow, Andrea, that is a very powerful thing, a very interesting perspective that many people would never have thought of. That shame, that blame, that I'm bad, that really just, as you were saying it, it's that way too. Sometimes we think, oh, if I only done it different, even
Right.
as we're putting something in our mouth.
Something is wrong with me. Why can't I stop?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
you've developed over the years a way to work with your clients to help them through that high, low, high, low. What could you share just a couple of these tips or
Right.
ways of being that would help someone?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing I do, I normalize fat. I normalize it. As I said, with 60% of the population, women overweight, it can't be our fault. There must be something systemic um, that keeps on making us put on all this extra weight. And so, what are the fundamental things that I do in my work with women? I get them to find out what's the story of my fat. You know, what is the real story? Because at a gut level, we know it could be that we just overeat because food is addictive. We want to stop what we can't stop. So we know that we know our stories. It could be trauma. It could be we don't want to look appealing or sexy because the last time we looked that way, um, we were blamed for the abuse that came towards us, right? Or it may be just dissatisfaction, and we can't explain it, we can't untangle the emotion, and so we just want to forget it, stuff it down, eat it away, because eating not only distracts us but gives us a dopamine hit, and so temporarily we feel good. So one of the things I do before I even start to say, oh, you have to change your diet, or you have to, you know, so and so and so and so and so. I untangle by having my clients understand the story of their fat. You know, diet.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that is really interesting.
right,
Understanding their own story
right,
and
right.
what's triggering them right away. For myself, as you're speaking that, Cookies and I have had a long-term relationship.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I was sharing this just with someone the other day. I said, I could, oh, it was this morning at the exercise place. I can make cookies in 10 minutes flat. I can take ingredients, whip, 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 and I put them together and I'm chowing them down.
Yep.
And it's usually if I'm feeling anxious or stressed
There
behind the
you go.
scenes,
Yeah, yeah,
that's my go-to.
yeah.
And other people might like ice cream or cake or just French fries or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I had a choice over any food, I'd make cookies.
And it slows you down. It makes you feel good temporarily.
Yes.
How we know that it may not be the go-to thing for us is
Mhm.
afterwards we feel badly,
Mhm.
like we have, done something sneaky.
Yeah, no one will notice that extra 5 pounds or 10 pounds on my head. Nobody can see that.
But not just that, Bonnie. We ourselves couldn't stop when we wanted to. So
Yes.
I used to have this thing where, I mean, my thing is nuts. And I would
Mhm.
start eat and eat and eat and eat, and I couldn't stop. So my winding down process was, okay, I'll eat a handful, then I'll eat a half a handful, then a quarter handful, until I eat only two. So I had to go down a de-escalation process. And I
Yes.
said, that can't be good. I am out of control. And
Yes.
nobody, not even Prince Charming, not even my wonderful daughter, should let me lose control. No, I'm losing control. And said, I just can't help myself. When food does that to you, you
Mhm.
know that you're in the throes of addiction.
Mhm.
And what
Oh.
else might happen? What
Mhm.
else? So, it is understanding, looking at your own behavior without blame, just objectively looking and say,
Mhm.
that's not normal. That's not how I want to behave. This thing is controlling me.
Oh.
It's a trigger. I gotta get rid of it.
You have people write journals or how do you
Right.
work with
So,
them?
so yes, I mean it's a big process. You
Mhm.
journal, because so when you journal and you let go of the conscious, then
Mhm.
what's in the subconscious will come out. And
Mhm.
sometimes when people see what they have written, they said, "Oh my God, for years I did not want to face that."
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
understanding the story of the fact
Mhm.
is very interesting. And I use a acronym called RESET, and where the R is for reframe. So
Okay.
reframe and restory. And then after you've done that, we get into the mechanics now, where you
Mhm.
can evaluate what happened the previous times when
Mhm.
you tried. and you can say, okay, I need structures. As they say in organization, you can get people to behave differently structures, right? So
Mm.
yes, so if you have water every 2 feet in the house, you're
Mhm.
going to drink it. If you have soda, you're going to drink it. If you
Mhm.
have cookies, you're going to eat it. So how do I help you to make good habits inevitable?
Got it. It makes sense. Makes sense. What do you think? Is there a commonality among people? Like the most common, and then everybody has their different story. But would you say there's a commonality of a certain food or group of foods that
Absolutely.
tend to grab people more than others?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, persons, it's so funny. In Jamaica, I mean, therapy is a bad word. It's like, oh, you're cuckoo, something is wrong with you, and you don't see therapists making you whole. But many of us, we're messed up. There were bad parenting, there was deprivation in our lives, we have major dissatisfaction, we have saboteurs, mental patterns of thinking that is more negative than positive. And so when we go for things in life, we are going to meet upon opposition in here first.
Mhm.
And when our life goals are getting away from us, be it a man, a job, a healthy baby, a big house, whatever the materialistic or emotional thing, we don't get it, who is to blame? Well, we can't blame anybody, so we eat. We eat the emotions. And the food manufacturers have logged onto that. And they tempt us with pleasures from childhood. They tempt us with addictive sugar. They tempt
Mhm.
us. They actually call it temptation bundles, where they put like chocolate chip and cream together, or uh, ice cream and um, pineapple turnover. And they put all these nice things together that they hyperstimulate the brain, and you get literally into an addictive frenzy. So
Mhm.
some is emotional, and you would go for food anyway, but
Mhm.
others have been done for months
Mhm.
to get you to want more and more and more and more. Even a 5 course meal. We weren't
Mhm.
meant to be having 5 course meal, because every course you have, your body wants to fill up on that course. And it's
Yeah.
called food specific satiety.
Oh.
More course you have, the more you will eat and expand and love it and get fat. So we're in a hell of a situation here.
Well, some of, not the whole world, but much of the world has an overabundance of food.
Mhm,
And unfortunately, I've noticed, I've even heard this, say in the United States, where they are food waste, and where they don't have any grocery stores, they have only convenience stores with
mhm.
only the junk food.
Right,
And
right,
so there's not a lot of options. But some places, I would say where I'm living, I can go in a grocery store. Well, I like to cook and I like to eat. And I'm
right,
telling you, I could be in there for hours because I'm planning meals and all of this
right,
in my
right.
head. But I can cook. Nowadays, many younger people, they actually don't cook and
Mhm,
they eat out,
mhm.
or they buy the prepackaged food,
Right,
which, back
right,
to what you
right.
were saying, is high in sugar, high in salt, high in fat, and
And
it tastes
chemical,
good unless you have real food. And then,
right, chemical addiction gets you high in
yeah,
chemicals that the bodies don't respond to,
right,
or the body say, give me more, give me more, give me more. And since it
right,
can't extract the chemical from the food, it makes you eat more of the food that has in that chemical. So they're
right,
doing a number on us for economic reasons, for profit
right,
motives. And
right.
so we have to be aware.
Mhm,
One of the gifts I have on my website, I give people simple meal prep and simple understanding, how to cook and eat food that
mhm,
is good for you. You know,
mhm,
super
mhm.
simple can use fill up on fiber, potatoes in different
Mhm.
forms, fresh fruits if you have it, or when you have it, how to prepare it and store
Right.
it for when
Right.
it's off season. So simple
Right.
things that our grandparents and our parents did that
Mhm.
we no longer do, but we
Mhm.
need to for our health's sake.
Now, do you have your clients get rid of food that's in their house then? Like go through their pantry and clear
Um,
it out?
I do that. I'm a very because I say a little arsenic is still arsenic. And why would you want to say, I have just this little bit of arsenic left? May I have it? It is going to do more harm to you than the money you think you're losing.
Mhm.
And there are many persons who that's hard to grasp psychologically because of habits and how the brain work.
Mhm.
So in my program, before I start to get you to change, I get you to understand how your brain works and how
Mhm.
it might begin to work against you once you
Right.
start the program to reorient your lifestyle.
Mhm.
'Cause it's hard. It's
Yeah.
very hard when everybody else is doing it or is saying it, and we bond around food, and it's so satisfying temporarily. But oh man, later on, it's bitter to the belly.
Right. Now, how long would you encourage your clients to when they start your program and then you think, well, some people, I don't know, what would you honestly want them to commit to get to their goals? I know it depends on maybe
It
a lot of
depends. It
things, but
depends. But
yeah.
I say um, it is 6 months. It's 6 months to a
Mhm.
year because you have to identify which habits you are willing to change and whether
Mhm.
the habit will significantly leverage a new lifestyle. So I have a
Mhm.
matrix on what's the habit, the impact it would have on your health, and
Mhm.
what is your level of willingness to tackle that. And
Mhm.
sometimes you're not willing. You might say, I'll tackle the water, but I won't leave the sugar right now. So,
Mhm.
okay, so let's do the water and
Mhm.
fill you up on water so much you don't have time for. So I look at what are high leverage habit and I give you a habit implementation feasibility matrix to choose
Ah.
what are you willing to start with.
Mhm.
And I start there with you. If you want to jump in, then fine. Uh,
Mhm.
you get more leverage earlier. But if not, we go with where you're ready
Oh.
because I don't want you to say, Andrea made me do it,
Mhm.
right? Because then you're externalizing and you say, I didn't want to do it anyway. So I said, why?
Mhm.
Are you willing to do this? Say
Wow.
yes. It says something to your psyche that I have chosen this path.
Oh,
So
that's a beautiful one. I've chosen this path.
yes,
Not I have to, but I've chosen this path.
I have chosen. So
Mhm.
that's what the
Mhm.
habit implementation matrix
Can
does.
you give us, our audience, an example of, say, because it's just coming to me, if you're the mother and you're cooking for the family, maybe you're wanting to lose weight, but can you give us an example of maybe someone you've worked with where it not only impacted them, but their whole family or, their husband as well?
Right. No, sometimes you have collaboration. So I have this gal, and she had to get two separate cupboard. So I don't
Mhm,
want your stuff in my cupboard because it's like having alcohol in the house to
mhm,
somebody who is in alcohol recovery.
mhm.
So that I know you love me, but this so you have to teach them boundaries,
Okay.
right? Then there are other times when you teach them options, like instead of doing durum wheat for noodles, you do something like a squash noodles.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
so you're all eating what looks like macaroni and cheese, but it's a
mhm,
healthy version,
mhm,
right? You want cheese, but cheese not good for you. Then I can help you make cashew-based cheese.
mhm,
So you're getting the taste, and the family will not say, "Oh, you're punishing us." So you're all learning new ways
mhm,
tin, that doesn't take a lot more time because I can do a squash, get a spiralizer, and I have all these wonderful, noodles that I
Mhm.
can do with salsa and cheese and whatever. And then there are other substitution. I
Oh
do
yes.
bananas instead of both egg and sugar, and it increased the texture and taste.
Yes.
Some of the cookies
Yes.
that I like, the oatmeal cookies, the oatmeal and cacao cookies that I
Oh, I need that recipe.
so I do oatmeal, I do almond flour,
Hmm.
bananas, and chocolate.
Oh, sounds delicious.
So,
Delicious. Now,
so
what I remember when I worked in a health food store way back in 1990 to 94, people would come in with a stricken look on their face because their doctor said don't eat this and this and this and this, and they had no idea. So I think you'll validate this because you're sharing it right now. It's not closing off food, it's
Mhm.
actually expanding your
Absolutely.
repertoire of food because
Yeah.
most people only eat about 30 items. They don't vary too much.
Right,
But
right.
if you expand your
Mhm.
diet, it
Mhm.
can be fun
Right,
and,
right.
and tasty,
Very
right?
tasty. And you understand your body.
Mhm.
When I first met this term, it was called pull your belt syndrome, right?
Okay.
Where it is known that when you eat 5, 6, 7 courses, you will eat until you pull your belt or go home
Okay.
and lie on your back so that your stomach can expand. So when I say, eat, if you're gonna eat ice cream. You will be
Right.
full and you'll stop. Don't eat ice cream and then cake and then pudding and then
Mhm.
roast turkey or smoked pork or whatever you eat. Because
Mhm.
when you start combining them, that's when you're going to overeat. So I'm
Mhm.
not taking it away from you. Saying,
So the buffets at Las Vegas are a big no-no.
oh, they're there to really expand your stomach, poison your body, because oftentimes the thing that you're allergic to, your body craves for more.
Hmm.
So part of what I do is kind of, I was a teacher, I was a university lecturer.
Mhm.
I lectured in science and then in management. And so I like to impart information to correct misinformation.
Mhm.
So just not eating so much at once
Oh, okay.
is
That's
a,
a big thing.
is a great thing. Cut down on the variety, cut down on
Mhm.
the contrast, the hot
Mhm.
and the cold, the creamy and the crispy. I mean,
Oh,
these are the ways that you get your brain into
mhm.
a frenzy, yes, into an addictive frenzy. And so once you are aware and you watch
Mhm.
yourself go into an eating frenzy
Mhm.
and say, ha, you won't catch me again, you know?
Got it. Got it.
What we
And
do.
then so they're journaling, they're becoming aware,
Mhm.
they're maybe changing what's in the cupboards,
Right,
um, and
right.
they're going at their own pace, but they're being supported by you, knowing that there's someone in their corner
Absolutely.
to hold them accountable
Right, right.
if that's what they really want.
Right, right.
And
And I teach
yeah.
them, yeah, I teach them how to change the habits because um, if you move by just an inch a day, it's easy to run back. So my thing is measurable progress in reasonable time.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not pushing you,
Right.
but for it to be sustainable,
Yeah.
you need to,
Because there is no someday, is there?
there's some days on a day on the calendar or a day in
Yeah.
the week. So I need to see and we need to commit to what do you really want? And are
Yeah.
you committed to measurable progress in
Mhm.
reasonable time?
Mhm.
So I work with you on that, give you some
Mhm.
mental tools, let you see how you think, let you be aware of when your own brain is chattering. And you can say, I'm choosing not to listen to you. You're a liar. You're
Yeah.
liar.
Yeah.
You
I
are.
actually, that brings back a memory of mine. And I was in my 20s and I kept having a yeast infection. And my doctor and I back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it was her nurse's assistant. And we decided it was not the actual, it was yeast itself and grains. And I ended up going off all grains and all sugars and even fruits for 6 months,
Mm-hmm,
and it
mm-hmm,
wasn't as hard as I thought once I got going.
mm-hmm.
And suddenly, this was such a revelation to me. I didn't realize I had headaches every single day. They suddenly stopped. All the headaches stopped.
Right.
And I reset my body. And it was very interesting. I have gone back to where I do eat bread here and there. I do have oats or rice here and there. But it wasn't at that terrible place.
Right.
And I stopped having to go to my doctor. So what
Right.
I'm probably hearing what's happening for a lot of your clients is they feel better. So once they start feeling better, it's easier to stay with, what
Right.
you're teaching
Right.
them.
Stay committed. And like I say, I mean, we're seeing hyper pollution now when the
Oh
ocean
yeah.
are rising. The ocean, like the body, can purify to a certain level, can cope with a certain amount of pollution and toxins. But
Right.
when it gotten too much, then total disorder. You know,
Right.
if oceans can rise and environmental, the whole weather cycle can change.
Right.
Imagine the delicate balance that you have inside here
Right.
when you're out of balance because of too much toxin, too much yeast,
Yeah.
neurotransmitters get damped, all of that.
Right.
You don't feel well, and you forget what it's like to inhabit a lively, healthy, vibrant body.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. A lot of people don't realize how badly they feel till they feel good again.
Right, right,
So you
right.
help them remember probably
Oh
what it feels like.
Oh yes,
You're really terrific.
I have a exercise decades of my life, where they're just remembering from when
Uh-huh.
they were in their first decade, when they're
Wow.
just unstoppable to when the pains and the cramps and the headaches and the migraines and the skin rashes and the
Mhm.
aging
Yeah.
begins and oh my God, I want to go back.
I know. Oh my gosh. Well, let's take a look at your beautiful website here.
Uh,
And so 40 plus women who want to be more vibrant, healthy, lose weight, and keep it off. And you're helping with a gut check here. Oh, is that coming right up here?
Right, it's next week. It's next week, Wednesday. So,
Wow.
yeah, so I host these weight loss summits and they're totally free. No VIP ticket, no upsell. Just get some awesome value. It's in the form of like a podcast. You download, you take it with you, you listen, you write notes, you do the exercises, and you talk to. I have five other wonderful health coaches that joined me for this one.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
just to register, just to come
Wow.
just to register, because I'll send you the feed for your podcast. And you'll have, I mean,
Fabulous.
5 or 6 awesome sessions that
Mhm.
will make a difference to your gut health and your vitality.
Wow. Well, I think that I just have to make sure I come to this because um, even though I feel very healthy and I do my exercise, I do my walking, I mainly cook at home. We do go out occasionally.
Mhm.
Um, it's always something to be mindful of, you
Right,
know,
right,
and taking care of self.
right.
And this would be good for anyone. Are men and women, or is this mainly for women? Does
I mainly coach women, but
okay.
men can register. I mean, it's all about something like breathing. Many times we don't breathe. You don't breathe. You do not breathe deeply enough, and so you impact your metabolism because you don't breathe. Can you
Yeah,
imagine if you're stressed and you don't breathe? What happened? So
yeah.
many things go out of whack. Simple movement, understanding about people wake up with indigestion. People feel gassy, bloated. and don't understand why. So an
Mhm.
understanding of your own. You don't have to have IBS or any of those major health problems, but you have these small signs that you are unwell.
Mhm.
And so we're saying, okay, improve your health and get better. So we have breathing, we have sometimes your cravings is because you lack something. And so a wonderful talk about the neurotransmitters that make you eat. When you don't have them, you crave them. But you have to identify, what am I missing? Why I'm eating other things. So we have how neurotransmitters impact your cravings. So it's a nice mixture that anyone who's on a health journey can use. And if you're losing your health, even more important to do a gut check, which is what this asks you to pause and do a literal and a figurative gut check. How is your health?
Ooh, that's going to be so juicy and wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I look forward to staying with the journey with you because again, I fell in love with you first time we met.
You are
And I
amazing.
can't imagine how many people you've helped over the many years and how many more you're going to be helping. And so we want to stay in touch with you so that we can, as you do your other events or whatever, that people can get a hold of you. I
Yeah,
know you're on LinkedIn
I'm on
and
LinkedIn.
yep. And reach out to Andrea on LinkedIn. If you don't have LinkedIn, I bet you're on Facebook too.
I'm on Facebook, Andrea Blackwood-Harriott. I'm on Facebook. And I'm telling you, between now and December, lots of free, juicy things. Bonnie, you're talking about cooking. I have another juicy, kitchen detox and just being healthy. They can get my Eat Clean book.
Oh,
Yes. And all of these are, for free. For
wow. That's so. Everyone, did you just hear that? Andrea is sharing her wealth of knowledge for you. So do take advantage and try it. And then if you want more help, absolutely reach out to her. For
free.
heaven's sake, she's in Jamaica. I mean,
No,
and
thanks to the internet, we do think. I mean, you're in Canada,
absolutely.
I'm in Jamaica, and it's like we're next door just talking.
Well, actually, I bet you have clients worldwide.
I do, I do. I,
Yes.
I have clients even in South Africa.
Yes. So nowadays we're so blessed to have things like this, StreamYard, Zoom, all these fun things. And
Yes.
we can reach out and touch someone and be helped by someone, even if they live on the other side of the world.
Mhm.
And this is the real blessing of today. There's many things that are going a little wonky, but then there's a lot of things that are really fun.
Yes, there's hope.
And what I love about what we did today is we shared some knowledge, and I hope everyone heard Andrea on some of the things you can do. Journaling, you can look in your pantry, you can make choices and
Mm,
not have tos. And what I also hear is that she's offering you a free gift if you go to her website,
right,
and she's
right,
also got many things in the works that you won't want to miss
right.
in future by staying in touch with her, because we all need that helping hand. We all
Mhm,
need our support team behind us.
mhm.
We don't live alone generally, and we're we're social beings, and so having someone in your corner can really make a difference in your health. And without your health, of course, there's really nothing.
There's
There's
nothing.
really nothing. So Andrea, we so appreciate you being here today on Storyvan TV, i.e., the Healthy Wealthy Camper. And again, I'm Bonnie Dixon, and this was Andrea, and she is a healthy lifestyle coach. Make sure to go out and reach out and touch her because she's there for you.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to share.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.